Alright y'all, it's time for a fresh top shelf. If you are new to my channel, my top shelf series is what happens when I've been testing things for a long time. I have no object permanence, and so all the surfaces in this room start getting covered with makeup that I've been testing, and then I am forced in a flurry of locking in to completely clean everything up, put it back in its drawers for organization and everything. It also makes me have these Marie Kondo moments where I will be holding an item of makeup in my hand and I will say to myself, I can't put this back in storage because then I'll forget that it exists and that would be devastating. I want to make sure that I keep this out, top of mind, top shelf. You get the point. So this isn't just about the makeup. I usually take it as an opportunity because it's really a seasonal thing that I do. I don't make this video very often. I also am going to be talking about things that I've been using for like my hair and my body. Not an exhaustive list of every single thing that I use, but mainly the things that have been standouts or new for me. So we're mainly going to be talking about skincare, hair care, a little bit of fragrance, and then we'll jump into the makeup. But first, I want to talk to y'all about today's sponsor. I am happy and proud today to be partnering again with my good friends over at Current Body. If you're unfamiliar with Current Body, I'm about to familiarize you with them. They are the ultimate authority on beauty devices. I'm such a huge fan of a beauty device. I use my LED masks every single night and I notice when I don't. My skin starts to look sallow and kind of hollow. I feel like my pigmentation shows through more because what LED red light therapy does, especially when it is employed properly with the right LED mask, it stimulates collagen, it's going to increase elasticity, it's going to give your skin this boost of luminosity. I find that it really helps noticeably with any irritation from picking overnight. So y'all know all about, at this point, the Current Body Skin LED Mask Series 2 for the face. I love this thing. This is the one that I have been using for ages and ages now since it came out. All the placements of these lights are very strategic. All of these lights have been tested, every single bulb. I'll stick a video in here showing Current Body's quality assurance process because there are a lot of LED masks on the market and Current Body owns the manufacturing of their Series 2 masks from end to end. So you can be assured that these are of the highest quality, they have the most proven efficacy, and there's customer service on the other side. I actually got to meet the team this past couple weeks ago in New York City, and they are as dreamy in person as they have been to work with this entire time. They are a company that really stakes its reputation on the quality of its products. Now, the last time we talked about Current Body, I alluded to the fact that they had just released a Series 2 of their neck and deck mask. So neck décolleté. This is where we show aging so much because the sun's gonna hit you right there. And my neck is just one of those things that wants to give me away so bad. I feel like my neck showed aging way before anything else on me, like years ago. And I have found such a difference using even their original neck and deck mask, but this one is next level, as you might imagine. So this is what it looks like. It has such high coverage that goes basically all the way around the neck, all the way across the chest, down the décolleté. It has 229 little LEDs in there that have been spaced out perfectly to give you the best results for the amount of time that you're wearing it. So you wear it for 10 minutes a night or a day, and that is going to give you the dosage essentially. There's no need to kind of keep repeating it or anything like that. I love these masks too because they're so soft, so it's like they travel really well. They come with a little dust bag that you can store them in and travel with them, but I do travel with mine because I feel like they pack so easily. And as some of the people who are actually in my life have seen me talk about the LED masks from Current Body on my channel, I've had questions in person again about discerning the difference between the Current Body LED masks and everything else that's out on the market. And so there are a lot of different ones, right? There are ones that are more expensive, there are ones that are less expensive. You can go all over Temu and find something that looks very much like this, but I've tried a lot of them and I've spent a lot of my money on them, and I find this one to be, again, the one that I notice the biggest difference from. I wake up with my skin glowing. I wake up with my skin looking refreshed and plump and rested, even if I didn't have the most restful night's sleep. I get excited to use these masks every night before I fall asleep because I know that the results are gonna feel so rewarding the next morning in terms of just like plumpness and anti-aging and things like that. So not only does bundling the LED face mask and the neck and deck together get you a discount on the Current Body website, but also my code Kackie stacks on top of the bundle discount and gets you an even deeper discount on these. So enter my name, Kackie, at checkout, and the offers will stack, which is so exciting. I've experienced a lot of disruption to my skincare and my sleep patterns and things like that over the last month, and there are a handful of things that I absolutely swear by to get me back on track at any given time. And the step that I absolutely swear by is my LED masks. Outside of going into a med spa for like a really deep treatment or something like that, it shows me the most noticeable results out of anything else in my routine. So again, you can use the link down below, enter my name at checkout, it'll stack on the bundle discount, and also it will give you a discount on anything Current Body Skin on the Current Body website. So thank you to Current Body for continuing to partner with me on my channel. I love y'all so much. I love these products so much. I swear by them, and I know y'all are gonna love them too. So all that said, let's jump into the rest of my top shelf. Okay, I'm gonna start with skincare because we were just talking about skincare, and I've experienced a lot of disruption to my diet, my sleep, my skincare, etc. over the past month or so. And it's really made me notice the difference when I don't stick to my routines, and it's also made me notice what products help me get back on track. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, anyway, we are almost done with these and I will be repurchasing them. I think the last time I talked about these was in my Sephora sale video. I've been using them every single day, and that is why they are called the Gentle Retinol Salicylic Daily Toner Pads from Innisfree. They just sent me the vitamin C ones too, and I've been trying those, but like, they sting a little bit. These are like super duper gentle, which is more than I would expect from a retinol salicylic pad. If you are new to actives, oh my God. My friend Lindsay is like 10 years younger than me, and she's just getting into actives. She's like, I feel like my skin just has this like dullness to it, and it's not really absorbing my moisturizer. And I'm like, yes, what you need is just a gentle chemical exfoliation step and SPF to match that, you know, during the day. But this is what I told her to get, and she's like, I noticed in a day. She's like, is this a placebo or do I look better today than I did yesterday? I'm like, it's not a placebo. This stuff's amazing. They also have a serum of this if you don't want to do the facial pads, but I personally experience zero irritation with these. I have had some excoriation on my face lately, and typically that would make me very wary of using something that is like as active as retinol or even salicylic on top of that, because I would be afraid of getting perioral dermatitis. Now we all know that I have my perioral dermatitis under control because of a different product that I'll mention in a second, but these are so gentle, I have experienced not one scare, not at all. So this is just such, like, that's kind of what I'm in pursuit of in life, is like getting away with using actives, finding the actives that are in the right delivery system and the right dose for me to not experience irritation if I use them every day. And this is insane. It's so good. And I think they're like $28. It's pretty good, pretty affordable. This is what I'm referring to when I say that I have had my perioral dermatitis under control for a while, and that is, you know, I just keep burning through these. This is the Ultra Repair Cream from First Aid Beauty. If you have anything that's bothering you, depression. No, I mean, I just have found that this was the answer. It solved all of my perioral dermatitis. I use it like medicine on my skin. I put it on constantly. It continues to be the thing that keeps me in one piece. So yeah, Ultra Repair Cream. That's just the original. And then we get into my little rotten soldiers. Oh my God.
Because he's my best friend, he's my pal, he's my homeboy, my rotten soldier. He's my sweet cheese, my good time boy. This
is my little army that I squirt them all in my hand, one pump each, and rub them all over my face every night. And they're all from Allies of Skin. I love Allies of Skin. Now I will say, you can buy duos, right? And you'll get a discount on that. I also, if you want to put my name in at checkout on Allies of Skin's website, you'll get 15% off site-wide there. I think 20 actually. I think it's 20% off. Either way. The one thing that I recommend pairing with any of these, and we'll talk about them in a second, but like this is the main character. This is the Multi-Peptides and Growth Factor Advanced Lifting Serum. This and my LED mask and the Ultra Repair Cream are like, again, the things that hold me together. This, I've just never experienced anything that like makes my skin heal so well and like continue to improve. It is one of those things that like if I don't use it, I really notice it. Now the two of these I want to say are a little bit newer. So this is the Tranexamic and Arbutin Advanced Brightening Serum. I love Tranexamic because it is so gentle. And I've experienced it here and there in other kind of like K-Beauty, J-Beauty products, but this is such an awesome brightening serum that again, it doesn't have any kind of sensation. It doesn't have any irritation over the long term, anything like that. That's why I love these, is because they give me like zero sign that I'm using them other than the results. Like I don't have any side effects. And then I have the Azelaic and Kojic Advanced Clarifying Serum. This is for my acne and it works great at keeping my acne at bay even when I want to pick at it. It's pretty good for healing it, so that's nice. And then we have the CE15 Bakuchiol Firming Oil. This has kind of made its way back into my routine because if you use it too many nights in a row, the skin will start to show a little bit of irritation, so I'm very careful with this because it is strong. Especially for something that's a Bakuchiol, you don't expect a Bakuchiol always to be strong, but for me, it definitely shows results. So it's got 9 nutrient-rich oils, vitamin C, Bakuchiol, Teprenine, and CoQ10. I am not sure what all of those things do, but I'll say what I always say about Allies of Skin, and that is that I put my trust in people who are smarter than me, okay? Because I get results from these and they're incredible. And when I've been using that Bakuchiol, I also use it with my old reliable Iconolab Renewal Face Oil. I've been talking about this stuff I think since the beginning of my channel. The owner of the company, it's this teeny tiny little company out in California, reached out to me. She only puts out like a few products and they're all exquisite, and this was the original, and it's just one of the most beautiful face oils of all time. I will never be without it. It has both the qualities of really making your skin look younger and healthier over time, like it's just very nourishing and lovely, but it's also so cosmetically beautiful on the skin and you hardly need any of it. Can't speak highly enough of it. If I still have a discount code on this, I will put it down below underneath the video. I finished my last one, started cracking into this one pretty recently, and it's just a great thing. Again, I kind of do like a little milkshake or a smoothie or a cocktail, whatever you want to call it, of like my actives, and then I do one of my oils. So there have been a couple other ones that have been in rotation, but this is like always the base. Quickly, I want to talk about what I smell like, if y'all are ever curious. This is what I smell like. I smell like always a combination of the Fleur Vanilla Skin Deodorant and whatever perfume that I'm wearing. But lately, I have really foregone all of my like normal perfumes to just wear these, the Salt & Stone body sprays. They are some of the most sophisticated, expensive smelling scents that I've ever found that come in this gigantic bottle, and you can kind of also be generous with it since they are body sprays. They're not like super duper potent. They're not gonna enter the room before you, which is what I love about this approach to woody scents, because a lot of times we've all been walking behind the wrong person at a European airport, you know what I mean? I've been like, dang, dude, like, wow, why that? And why that much of it? Or like in an Uber and you're like, I would like to get out. I don't need a headache for the rest of the day just because of this. So it's like when we're talking about things that have woody notes in them, it's risky business. You know, you can get in over your head pretty quick. These handle it so well. So we have the Santal and Vetiver, and when I wear this, my kid is like, you smell great, which is like enough reason for me. I'm a big Santal person. It really does have the sandalwood thing to it. It actually has a little bit of like a Palo Santo sweetness to it, which is really nice. And they're very unisex. They're very sexy unisex, but the bergamot and hinoki. I've had the body wash of this for ages, but you know, it's nice in the shower, but it doesn't really linger. Like that, oh, come on. Come on! Usually when we're talking about bergamot, I feel like it's kind of like neroli. I'm like, if you say so, you know what I mean? Like, sure, I guess it's adding kind of like a balanced note to an otherwise woody fragrance, but I don't usually get as much citrus. This is truly citrus. And then that hinoki, and it's just delightful. It's so sexy, it's so lovely, it has layers, it has moments, and honestly, when I combine it with this as my deodorant, absurd. It's so beautiful. And I do catch whiffs of myself over the course of the day. Not in a bad way, just in like a really like, dang, that's me. I smell like that kind of way. So this is the combo right here. The bergamot and hinoki and the vanilla skin. It's so good. And then quickly we're gonna talk about some hair care. I've been having had some really good hair days recently. My hair has actually decided that it is like substantially curlier than it once was, and I've been embracing it a little bit kind of by force. I'll blow it out and then I'll sleep on it and then it's just, you know, totally curly. But the curls have been so healthy lately. Ooh, and y'all, it all seemed to coincide. I'm not necessarily assigning causation here, but it all seemed to coincide with me starting to use JVN products, especially the conditioner kind of products, and the main one, especially like the best buy, I feel like, because you're gonna get so much mileage out of it. Like as soon as I had used this twice, which you only use it like once a week, as soon as I had used this like twice and seen the results from it, I immediately just sent a bottle of it to my mom. That speaks incredibly highly of a product when I'm just like, yes, my mother will love this. My mom has a minimal routine and high standards, and she also has ridiculously curly hair, and I was like, this is gonna kind of change your life. And I had bought her a Dyson for Christmas with the diffuser on it and everything, and I was just like, this is going to make your routine just such a pleasure. So this is the JVN Revive Rapid Repair Bond Gloss. As someone who was a hairdresser for a long time, I don't understand how this works, okay? I don't get it, and I'm not asking questions. You put this on after you condition your hair one time for 60 seconds, and then you rinse it out, and then your hair is like glossy for a week. And when I say glossy, I don't mean weighed down, because you would think that something like that would make a hair like mine go like flat and greasy. So it says made with hemisqualane, silicone free. That's shocking. Color safe, vegan, all that nonsense. I don't understand how this stuff works, okay? I don't understand how it works, but the first time that I used it, I just, you know, did what they said that I should do. And then I threw my hair up into, you know, my Crown Affair towel or whatever, and I was editing. I was just like leaning over my computer. And I took my towel out of my hair as I was editing, and I noticed that, you know, some of my hair fell down in front of my face, and it was like this really beautiful bouncy curl. And so I kind of absent-mindedly sort of coaxed the curls because I found it to be entertaining. And by God, when I looked at myself in the mirror, I'll put a picture in, it was bananas. I was like, I've never seen my hair do this before in my life. The way that it was curling, and they were so defined and so glossy. And so it's like, I want to just go ahead and say, like, there are lots of treatments like this out there, and a lot of them you think of for people who are like heat styling their hair a lot. But I want to encourage anyone who has like kind of curls that tend to look a little bit dry. This might be incredible for you. And I mean, God, like what an easy thing to invest in, because like you use like 2 pumps of it once a week. And if you're someone who has curly hair, the chances that you are actually washing your hair every single day are pretty low. Again, this will last you till the end of time. It's an amazing product. All right, I threw my whole makeup routine into this box as I was cleaning because I was actually kind of surprised how little there was. I think what I'll do is I will go through the new things with more detail, and then I will do kind of like a rapid fire of all the things that I still use that you've probably seen before, but I still want to mention them. Something that I keep not using in videos and I need to use in videos because I use it literally every day of my life when I'm doing my makeup. There's something so enchanting about this freaking product, and it is, you can see I've worn the embossing out and it's already kind of, you know, hard panning a little bit right there. You can just use a little scotch tape. But Baby Cheeks Powder Blush Duo in Coquette and Mimi from Westman Atelier. Oh my God, y'all. This is Love Affair, and honestly, formula-wise too, very similar on the level of the Pat McGrath blushes when they first came out. It's that finely milled, the color that you can see as it's going on, but it builds so slowly and blurs so easily. I feel like you could put it on with a potato chip. I mean, it's just incredible stuff. The way that I can tell that it's incredible is that I just can't stop applying it. You know, that's how it was when I bought those Pat McGrath blushes. I was like, I can't stop putting this on. I can't stop putting it on. And these colors are so awesome because yes, this is a blush duo, and you see that brown of Mimi and you think, well, that's kind of bronzery. And it is, but it's still rosy. It's so pretty. Oh my God, the two of these things together, I mean, those are some weak swatches, but that's because it is a very like slow building, finely milled, it was super, super forgiving, gorgeous, but also long wearing product. I love them. I think that if you find the colorway that appeals to you in these duos, you just kind of like, you're not going to be disappointed. They're so gorgeous. I know they're expensive. Everything from Westman Atelier is expensive. Do not spend your last $75 on a blush duo from Westman Atelier, okay? Don't let me convince you to do that. But if it is within your means comfortably, I can more than endorse this formula. It's ridiculous. This is the newest thing in here, and it's kind of funny. It comes with a little bit of a caveat, but like the new Danessa Myricks Freedom Palette in Pastel Dream. I think that the Get Ready With Me, the trying new makeup video already came out before this, where I tried this, so you got to see it already, all of the shades. But it should come as no surprise that like I'm just very excited about the combo, like the neutral portion of it. That's what I have on my eyes right now, with a little tiny bit of the deepest brown from the little YSL 300 quad. Now, I will say, is this really similar? Yes, we're jumping ahead, but I mean, is this really similar to those two shades in the YSL 300 quad? Mainly the shimmers are pretty similar. The 300 quad is warmer, and the shimmer is more glittery and less sort of foiled. But I do notice that like that's why I like both of them, is because it is quite similar, but it's in like a rosier persuasion. Oh my God, what are we going to do about my nose today? This is unreal. I've never had it like this. What is going on? Okay, all that to say, I have never been more excited about some weird colors, weird in the sense that like I don't typically wear them. The saturation and the ease with which those apply is just off the charts. And the way she's chosen multi-chromes that spread so beautifully on the skin, I mean, honestly, she's really rivaling Pat McGrath here in the sense of just combining things that make something like this so easy. And doesn't make your eyes necessarily enter the room before you, but it just kind of gives you confidence and empowerment to be able to use things that for me especially are kind of off the beaten path. I expected to love this palette, but I love it more than I even expected to. Does that make sense? I'm gradually looking worse and worse for the wear in this video. My nose itches so bad. I take allergy medicine, I promise. Something that has wowed me over the weeks that I have had these since I first reviewed them, the Tarte concealers, the Shape Tape sticks. At least I'm not saying Shart anymore. Shart Shape Tape. I have these in two colors. I have 20B and 12N. I will say I don't really use 12N anymore. It's a little too light because 20B is like the most insanely accurate shade match for me. It blurs right into my skin. It's awesome. So it's like equal parts. The fact that it kind of mimics the Tom Ford stick a little bit, and it's just creaminess, and it's just so agreeable, and it goes down so thin on the skin. Yeah, that's it right there. Isn't that an insane blend? But also that I have such an incredible match in this, and it is at least on the fairer, like the medium to fair side. It is a very, very like exhaustive shade range. Like I could wear probably the first 10 shades. It's wild. And there's a little bit of veiled criticism there because while I do have the benefit of that, I get to reap the rewards of that, I have heard that that is not the case for all skin tones. Now I want to talk about two things at a time here because I fell in love with the new blushes from Glow Recipe. They're a little hard to use at first because I would not recommend using a sponge with them. They kind of dry into a sponge pretty quickly and then pick your makeup back up. But if you use something like the BK 112 for something like this, or the one that looks the same from Singe, which is the F06, it works beautifully. However, there are only two shades in this. Fine, whatever. I think that they'll probably expand them at some point. I don't know what's wrong with me. They're gonna expand them at some point. But I have been, in my own time, comparing the application and the performance of them against the new-ish MAC Strobe blushes. Now, mind you, as they get into the fairer shades of the MAC Strobe blushes, they turn into highlighters. Bear that in mind if you're buying them online or something and you're not able to swatch them. But everything about these is even easier to use, and that's what I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing Unsweetened. These are just really, really easy to use, and they give the same skin texture, smoothed finish to the skin that like that gel bronzer thing does, that gel serum bronzer thing does, as these. But I find that the formula is easier to use and the colors are fantastic. Like, they're really exciting and fun and useful. And every time I use one of these, I'm just so glad that I did. I bought so many of these in person at Ulta because as I was swatching them, they just excited me so much, and I have no regrets, none whatsoever. And I would say that, like, if you're thinking about the Glow Recipe ones, unless you're like really in love with these particular colors, I would consider the MAC ones as an alternative. They're easier to use, and y'all know those are like the most important things to me when I'm talking about a makeup review, is I want it to be easy and fun for y'all. These are easy and fun. Help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. This is devastating. Something that has made it into heavy rotation lately, especially on like lighter makeup days, has been the new Anastasia Smooth Blur Contour Stick in halftone. It's gorgeous, and it is a much more like low pigment, spreadable, blend forever kind of formula compared to the Dior that I, used today, because it's going to give me this very noticeable, like, contrasty tan. They're very similar in undertone, but very different in formulation. So while the Dior is very high concentration in terms of pigment, but it also still blurs and blends so easily and so beautifully, you can see that the ABH is just lighter in terms of chroma, or I should say like less saturated. And also it just has less presence on the skin and blends even kind of more easily and further. So they're just two different identities of contour. But if you're afraid of contour, and I say that not as a derogatory thing at all, I think that it is very, very normal to be afraid of contour because we've all seen disastrous things happen with contour, then this is a very good way to wade into contour in a way that like is so forgiving. It's so forgiving. It's a beautiful product. Other things that I find myself reaching for absolutely constantly because the formula is good, maybe some might say great, even if it's not groundbreaking, but the colors are awesome. I have two of the new blushes from House Labs here. I have Glassy Cayenne and Glassy Clove. Actually, I don't think Cayenne is the one. I think it's Cinnamon that I'm looking for. There it is, Glassy Cinnamon. I was like, I don't think that I was that excited about Cayenne. So yeah, those two right there. That's Glassy Cinnamon and that's Glassy Clove. They just have this beautiful brown quality to them. This is actually pretty comparable to Toasted Teddy from Rhode, and I don't even know what you would compare that to, but it's drop dead gorgeous. So these did give me the Marie Kondo effect when I tried to put them back in the drawer because the colors are just so exquisite, and I find that they live in my flash drive memory in my brain. They're in my mind palace in a way that like I feel the need to reach for them because they give me such a unique effect on the skin because the colors are so good. I think it is safe at this point to announce that Merit Beauty has officially won me over. Their recent releases have been inspired. They've been subtle. I feel like they've really dialed in what it was that Merit was always going for, which was the kind of fewer better of it all. But I feel like in so many ways they were trying to be kind of different for different sake there for a little while, and now it's like they have the courage to do things that are so subtle for subtle's sake that it is a part of the market that I feel like not a lot of other brands were doing. And so it's like they get a little bit of criticism for doing things that are so intentionally low pigment, like their blushes, which I also love, but I feel like it's become their thing. They're standing on the founding idea of a lot of these products, and it's working. Their lip liners, I cannot stop using them. They're so easy. They're so great. The only reason I don't have one on right now is because I keep wiping my face because my nose is running, and so I just gave up on using a lip product today. But I have Tabak and Bespoke here, and I can't say enough about them. It really doesn't matter which one I pull out of my bag. I'm going to just use it sight unseen because they're just that easy. They're so gorgeous. The effect of them is incredible. I love these little guys. At first I thought they were a little too pigmented, but when I really dug deep on them, these are the kind of new shimmery, more pigmented versions of their lip oils. They're unbelievably beautiful. They're so pretty. I have to say that Tabby is the one. Like, it's just this beautiful mauve leaning burgundy kind of color, and it goes on really sheer. It's drop dead gorgeous. It goes really well with the lip liners. I feel like it's a very, very airtight release from a point of view standpoint. And also, their packaging is just really nice. It's very pretty. And then I actually have two shades in this. I don't know what I did with the other one, but this is the Brow 1990, what the heck it is, volumizing pomade. I don't even know. They don't have the name of it on here, but this is their tinted brow pomade, and I have it in taupe and I have it in light brown or soft brown or something like that, and it has completely swept the category for me. I'll wear it with or without a brow pencil. It's just gorgeous stuff. I know that they reformulated it, And so it kind of isn't new, but it is new. And I never tried the first one, I don't think. I will say that the reformulation is a triumph. I love it. I can't stop using the CeraCreal skin stuff. What's it called again? Face Flex. Skin stuff, Face Flex. You know, it looks like a concealer, but it really just goes wherever you want it to go. And I have it here in 2. I also own shade 1. I do think that, you know, well, it's not that I think that, I know that she's going to expand the shade range at some point, and I find that prospect to be very exciting because neither of them is a perfect match for me. The first one is a little bit too rosy, and this one, while it goes really well with my undertones, is a little bit deep. I don't use it on like the bottom half of my face. I use it like on my under eyes and on my forehead as almost a foundation, and it blends and blurs and covers on the skin in a way that looks like healthy skin. It's awesome stuff. This is another one that kind of took a while to grow on me because I was like, what's the big deal? And especially if you're wearing this as a foundation, that's like a very meager amount of product for the price. And so I was just like, well, you know, there've got to be better ways. But both the feedback that I've gotten from y'all in terms of how special this is, especially for maturing under eyes and things like that, it's so hydrating, but it is really long wearing. And then also my experience with it, especially as I have had 2 shades of it to work with, has been that like, I don't want to go anywhere without it. I love it so much, especially if I'm just like getting ready in the morning, trying to rush out the door, go to a coffee shop or something like that, and I've got, you know, blemishes or unevenness or whatever. This is something that I can put on and it doesn't look like makeup at all, which is awesome, awesome. So big fan. Something that has completely surprised me to make it into heavy rotation has been the Face Bond Luminizer from Urban Decay. What a beautiful product, okay? Urban Decay's been putting out some weird, questionable stuff lately. I feel like they've been kind of throwing things at the wall a little bit, and the original, the Face Bond Foundation, was not for me, but this is thin and elegant and gorgeous and just such a lovely little formula that looks so elegant on the skin. And they do have colors in it that are gonna look more ethereal, you know, more obviously I applied a highlighter as a cosmetic kind of thing. But this one, which I have Silver Lake, oh my God, are you kidding me? It's just like this luminosity to the skin that you wouldn't necessarily clock as a highlighter. And it's so stinking easy to use. I've already got a sponge damp, like I just, you know what I mean? It just goes on so easily. I don't have to think about it. It's awesome stuff, especially for those of us who are still pouring one out for Boy Tears. It is not Boy Tears, but it is similar to Boy Tears in the sense that I feel like it will give you an ethereal glow, and then you can also kind of build it up and use it as eyeshadow if you want to. And it is not Boy Tears. Come on, Hindash, give us Boy Tears back. You better make a lot of them too, because they're gonna sell out so fast if he ever restocks. Now I have my powders that I love, but this one has quickly made it again into heavy rotation, and I think we're all very happy for it. The new Givenchy Prisme Libre 4-color pressed powder. I have it in Mousseline Pastel, which is the same one that I've had for a long time in, you know, other versions of this formula. It is scented. It doesn't bother me. It's a face powder. Kind of smells like the Blue Q products from years and years ago. Do y'all remember those? It really feels like it's almost the same scent as that. I find it to be kind of charming. I think Givenchy is a brand that goes way too hard in terms of fragrance in their lip products. Like, it's way too much for me. They have yet to really wow me with one of their lip products, because even if it'll be a beautiful formula and a beautiful color, like the scent is just so overwhelming. But this doesn't overwhelm me in that sense. And we all had our heart broken by the reformulation of the loose powder version of this, and this is the redemption arc. Like, I do wonder if they did that on purpose. I don't know. Either way, we ended up with something beautiful, and I'm happy for it. It's very brightening and beautiful and blurring, and it doesn't necessarily look like you have anything like on your skin. It's a pretty special product. I'm starting to feel, this is terrible. I'm starting to feel like the conversation that I used to have with Steph of Beauty Unhyped and Nicolette Panisi. They always talk about, and I wonder if, I think that maybe Natalie's on board with this too, but they always buy their makeup in 2s because they're like, well, it has to have a friend. I feel like that's how I'm existing right now, is I'm buying friends for all my makeup. Oh no, I'm them. Oh my God, everything is in 2s. That's hilarious. I didn't realize that I was doing that, but yeah, if there's something that comes in more than one color, you bet your buns I'm gonna buy more than one color. And I think that I ascribe that to it being my career, you know? It's like I need to review it. I think I should probably have more than one shade in something to give something a good review. But yeah, maybe there's a little bit of the underlying need for my products to have friends. Who knew? And the last thing that I would consider to be new in the new category is the shade Opulent from Ilia. This is the ultimate inner corner highlight. Like, it is my actual skin tone. In fact, I did go a little bit too dark on my inner corner, and look at what that does. I have the box in my lap, sorry about the noise. But like, this is the one that has stayed in rotation. The other ones are beautiful, but I'm not always willing to put the work in. This is the most freaking elegant, intoxicating color to use, and it wears all day. All stinking day. These are the longest wearing shimmer eyeshadow sticks I have ever found in my entire life. Like, look at that. All right, let's smash through some stuff that y'all are familiar with here just to let y'all know that I'm still loving it. Duh. This is almost empty. I just ordered another one. I just love finishing a product. You know, the only thing that I have finished in such a long time, besides like a YSL candy glaze or a mascara, like a tube of mascara that expired, has been the Sublimage Le Temps from Chanel, because I loved it so much. This is even above and beyond my love for the Sublimage Le Temps, because I can only use the Sublimage Le Temps in the winter when my skin is super, super, super dry. I can use this all year long. This is the little Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Tint, and all the lettering rubbed off really quickly. It is not exactly the most elegant looking situation, but to quote my friend Erin, they could sell this out behind Walgreens in a baggie and I would buy it. It is the most exquisite skin tint of all time. Everyone that I know who has ever tried it swears by it and never wants to be without it again. So I'm also still making quite a bit of use of her pinpoint concealer pencils. I know that there are like 3 more concealer formulas coming out from Lisa Eldridge at some point, but these are really lovely. And I like that I have them in as many shades as I do, because it's like sometimes I'm done doing my makeup and I want like a darker one to use on top of my bronzer or something to go in and like conceal a blemish after the fact, but I don't think that that's an absolutely necessary thing to do. It's just because I got them in PR. I got 3 of them in PR and I ordered 1. So I have 4 of them. I would say that my best shade is shade 2, the same way that it is in the skin tint, but I love these things. Still using my Kosas powder. Yeah, the packaging failed, but I remain loyal. My bronzer game has been pretty wild lately. Bronzer and contour. We've got my Dior contour. We have my Armani. This is the one that I would recommend above all of these, honestly. Like, I really feel like there are really beautiful things in my routine, but this is the one that I feel like does the most astounding difference on my skin. It's just so stinking gorgeous. And if you are olive complected, it's beautiful for that. It has the right amount of goldenness to it. I love it. You'll pry it from my cold dead hands. I pulled the Gucci out. Or I guess I shouldn't say I pulled it out, I just didn't put it back. I just didn't want to part with it because I kind of want to give it a little more time. Sometimes that is, not a little more time, a little more play in my routine, because I do love it conceptually, but I can't remember why I don't reach for it that much. And sometimes that is what Top Shelf is about. It's like, I have a feeling and I don't know what that feeling is yet, but I have a feeling, you know? And so I want to make some more use of this. Something that I will never put away is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Skin Enhancer. It's just the best. It's like this gel weight, super sheer bronzer. I have this in light, and it's always going to bring the skin texture back, and it does actually work very functionally as like an easygoing, lightweight looking bronzer. I have the Hermes. Thank God I love this. It sure cost me a pretty penny. So this is the Plein Air in Totori. When I say that, I always sound like Nandor, the Relentless. Totori. Creepy paper. I use the daylights out of this. As you can tell, I also need to de-hard pan it, but I'm just kind of working from this little circle in the middle. And this is a really, really sheer bronzer that works just, you know, again, to blur everything together. I kind of can put it on my whole face sometimes, and it just enhances the whole game, and I love it. I just love this stuff. And then there is my matte bronzing brick from Victoria Beckham, which I only use this side of. I don't want to talk about it. And how stupid it is that I never use the other side. But yeah, it's what I use to blend my under eyes and any other anything on my face that is showing a line of demarcation in terms of blending. That's the thing that blends them together. And as many times as I've tried to live without this and use something else, nothing replaces this. It just is what it is. We already talked about this, but I mean, you know, I'm making dents in this YSL quad because it's just so stinking useful. It's so useful. This is the 300 palette, the mini couture clutch from YSL. It travels well. It's just gorgeous. It's idiot proof. I always get something gorgeous out of it. So Big fan. The eyeshadow sticks that live rent-free in my brain. We have Bobbi Brown Cinnamon. That's for a very warm look because it has that gorgeous like red brown thing to it. Nice swatch, Kackie, the letter I. And then we have, oh no, yeah, Pecan done seen better days, but it really speaks to how much I love this product. So this is Pecan from Victoria Beckham, and as you can see, it is slightly cooler toned, so it's, you know, for a more neutral eye look. They're both crease shades that I would, you know, achieve to, I have so little patience for the drama building part of an eyeshadow routine, because it's like I'm sitting there just like piling it into the crease and I'm just like, get the freaking show on the road. You know what I mean? I hate rubbing a brush right there on my eyes, and these are the fastest ways to get it done. They're such reliable formulas. And so yeah, they're very similar in terms of like chroma, but this one is gonna be warmer and this one's gonna be cooler, and that is literally the only difference. And I have to get them off before they dry. Oh God. Eyeliners, these are the two, okay? And really, I think it's just mainly like a shade difference here because they're pretty similar in formula. I would just say that I still, above and beyond everything else that I have tried, I still prefer the Victoria Beckham Satin Eye Kajal formula. It never dries up somehow. Like, you never have to sharpen it just because it's drying. And again, the only difference here, because this is the Caviar eyeliner pencil from Laura Mercier, the only real difference here is that the Caviar pencil is a little bit more cool toned, and it doesn't look like it there, does it? It is, I promise you it is. It's more cool toned, it's got a little bit more gray because it's like an espresso brown versus cocoa over here, which is a slightly warmer brown. But like, if I could have them both in the Victoria Beckham formula, I would. Does that mean it's the best formula for everyone? Not necessarily. There are people who don't like it because it's too slippy. And I could totally understand that if you're not someone who's got a really steady hand and wants to go in there and like work very delicately, but in one go. There's no tug whatsoever, none whatsoever. But if you want to go in there delicately with a brush and like get it right the first time, you're gonna want to go with the Victoria Beckham. But if you like something that has a little bit of drag to it, just so that it doesn't get out of control really quickly and run away from you, because the Victoria Beckham will run away from you, then I would recommend this one or one of the Persona pencils. The Persona pencils are lovely. It's just like the colors aren't necessarily exactly what I'm going for on an everyday basis. But like, look at that. You know, I let him sit there for a second and I just did one swipe with my finger, and the Victoria Beckham has just so much more playtime in it, which is nice. And then it does dry down completely to a long wearing formula. But like, the Laura Mercier is already set down, if that helps give some context. Two other eyeshadows that I find I just don't want to put back are the Moondust eyeshadows in Space Cowboy and Diamond Dog from Urban Decay. You know, Space Cowboy is just that kind of warm, peachy tan that blends right into my skin, but I have, you know, heard this is a little too warm for some people, a little too orange for some people, but it just gives this wet look shine on my eyes. And then Diamond Dog is if you took lithium and just made it not shift red. Instead, it's gonna shift kind of pewter. And even though it's a little cool toned for me, it has that oliveness to it that I feel like keeps it from going gray on my eyeballs, and I just love it. It's definitely a look, but man, when you layer those things together, the wet look really comes to life. I just think that they've existed for a long time and been mainstays in people's routines for a long time for a reason. They deserve it. Cool Feet, Free the Brow. This is still the best clear brow gel. I do like the new one from Thrive though, but like, I repurchased this because I love it so much. It's really good at getting them real defined and making them stand up, and then it is a little tiny bit restylable. I mean, that's good because it's got the little brush on the other end. MAC Fix Plus. You'll pry it for my cold dead hands. This is still the best setting mist. A lot of brands have been trying lately to put out setting mists, and this is still the only one that I care about. And then we have 3 products from Thrive. We have my Kackie lip gloss, which, you know, typically I would also pair it with my lip liner, but I've been really into those Merit lip liners lately. And this is just so easy to wear by itself. In fact, this is what I was wearing by itself before I started compulsively blowing my nose. It is tingly and plumping, but it is not going to irritate your lips. And the shade Kackie, if I can toot my own horn for a minute, is the best color of anything. It just is. That is that. It is going to give you that like soft mocha mousse kind of color, right? That was not our intention, but that was how it turned out. This is what I've been using for lip prep every single day. This is the Bigger Than Beauty, which is Thrive's skincare company. Pout Hero, this is in birthday cake? If that smells like birthday cake, I'll eat my hat. I don't know. It doesn't smell like birthday cake to me, but it doesn't smell like anything. It's just a really, really good gloss. I'll put a little on top here. Glossy, balmy lip treatment, and your girl has needed it lately. So amazing lip prep and just a really good like overnight treatment too. I've been using the crap out of their overnight sensation mask too. My skin has really needed it. So yeah, I'll link that below as well. That's a miraculous product. And then, you know, duh, I'm always going to be using this is like the most long-standing product on my entire channel. It's the first thing I ever reviewed and I never looked back. I've tried other mascaras, but I've never changed mascaras. It's still the best mascara to me. This is the Liquid Lash Extensions mascara, the tubing mascara from Thrive. I swear I could do it with my eyes closed, haha, but it is just so familiar to me. It is my mascara of choice forever. And I have it in the shade Crystal, which is the perfect black brown that isn't too overwhelming on my complexion, but it isn't too light either. And that, my friends, is my current top shelf. It is mostly old things, which is why we do the top shelf series, is because I want to be able to tell y'all what I'm using off camera outside of a temporal context. So much of the time, the things that I'm really loving aren't new. And when they are new, it's things that have truly knocked my socks off. So I hope that this is informative and fun for y'all. That's why I make this video, is because there are just so few other opportunities for me to share with y'all what I love and what I still love. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times what this tells you is like, hey, you don't need to go buy the new thing. If you want my recommendation, I'm going to tell you to kind of keep what you have in a lot of ways. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you to Current Body for sponsoring a portion of today's video. Again, y'all can enter my name, Kackie, at checkout on the Current Body website. You're gonna get a discount off of everything Current Body Skin, and it's stacked on top of the already discounted bundles for the LED masks, for the face mask, and the neck and neck. So definitely check that out. If you found this valuable, if you enjoyed it, please give the video a thumbs up. If you're new here or you just haven't yet subscribed, welcome. Please subscribe while you're here. We would love to have you. I will put a video up here that I think you'll enjoy. I'll just put my top shelf playlist, because I think that they, again, all this stuff is mostly outside of a temporal context, and so it's still worth it to go back and watch old top shelf videos. That's sort of the point. So I will put that playlist up here for y'all if you want to check it out. And I want to thank y'all for being here. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.